Hello everyone, my name is Sandy and I'm an English tutor mentor that specialises in IELTS preparation and also TOEFL preparation. But in today's video, I want to be talking about IELTS preparation and the best way to get prepared to take your IELTS test. To me, you have four options, and I'd like to look at those four options and let you decide what is best for you, depending upon your circumstances, of course. Of the many students that do come to me, many admit that they've already done some preparation and many have chosen the wrong way to go about it. And not only have they wasted a lot of time, but when they've taken the test, they've not got the band they achieved. And they've realized that they've been studying the wrong way and they're now looking at urgent assistance to help them get that band that they require. The problem being, of course, is that they're running out of time and they've no longer got the luxury of a long period to carry out the preparation. And they're maybe looking, the maximum I've seen is about 2 months. They've been looking to try and prepare to get that band score that they need. Firstly, I would like to recommend that you think about realistically what you can achieve band score-wise in the time you have. I see a lot of so-called schools or people talking about they can get you to a band 8 or a band 9 very, very quickly. I never believe one word of it. It's most of my students that come to me, they're being very realistic. They might want an overall band, which means for all 4 disciplines put together and averaged out, they might want a band 6, a 6.5, or maybe a band 7. And that is a good, realistic target to set themselves. Once you go to 7.5, maybe a lot of them do get 7.5s, by the way, and some do get 8s. Not very often, but they do, and it's not impossible to get an 8. But that's a very, very high standard of English ability. In addition, when they're looking at the band score, there's often a caveat as well in that a band 6 may be okay, but they need a band 6.5 in speaking. That's very common caveat that these establishments that they want to go to put in. They just want them to be effective in their speaking ability when they get there. I have seen a caveat for a band 7, and that's a very high standard, but that's mainly been for the higher academic subjects like medical and etc., where good English ability is much, much more important for the more complex aspects as well. Anyway, so let's look at what the options are, and let's look at what's best for you. If you've had any problems in the past, please put it in the comments down below and let people know what you think and how you've got on. So we're a community trying to get everybody through the band score, and every little bit of information can help people make the right decisions. So let's go. So what are the 4 options I think that you have if you're studying for IELTS? Well, the first option is self-study. Just that you're working on it by yourself. The second option is if you're going for an online course. There's many courses offered online, and a lot of students do book on these. That is a second option. The third option that I see is maybe going to a school or a college that offers a short, dedicated course for IELTS preparation. A lot of students do that also. And the final one that the category that I would really fall into is having your own individual tutor mentor, someone to help push you along, keep you motivated, and make sure that you're getting your band. So that's the 4 options. So let's now take a look at them in detail. In the majority of cases, then self-study is never a very good idea. But I really do understand that this may be the only option for many, maybe due to location or to finance, whatever, but it's not great. If you are going to self-study, and you can, Try and find a self-study group online or close to you. Many times these groups will have some sort of assistance, maybe a teacher or someone who has previously studied for the IELTS. Try and do a mock test online to identify where you need to concentrate your improvements. I would recommend looking at the britishcouncil.org, their site. I will put the link in the description below. They do mock tests. In the near future, I will be doing a video, advice for IELTS self-study. And this might be a very good one for you to watch. I'll be giving as many ideas as I can. And I would suggest, if you want to watch for this, please subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when that video is released. Unfortunately, we know that nearly 80% of people who self-study fail the IELTS the first time they take it. It is a bit of a problem. One tip right here is don't just keep doing practice tests. That's not really going to help you too much, because if you're doing it wrong when you start doing practice tests, you're probably going to still be doing it a long time in. You need to start looking at improving your vocabulary, getting your grammar right, and areas like that, so you're not listening to, you want to be listening to blogs and other areas of assistance, maybe TV shows, etc. Podcasts are very good. Find podcasts that interest you, listen to them, study the vocabulary, try to learn the vocabulary and try to learn how to use the vocabulary. There is lots of good help online, people giving advice about different things. Yes, that is very true, and you can probably get some good advice on there, but you have to be very careful online as well, because there is some big traps on there waiting for you if you should walk into them. So that's self-study. Let's move on. The next one is online IELTS courses, such as those advertised by various people on YouTube. This is one area that I strongly advise IELTS test takers to think about carefully before they spend their cash on booking a course with these people. I have looked at many with titles such as the VIP course, the Gold course, the Silver course and the Bronze courses, and putting it quite bluntly, I could not recommend even one of them. This is an area that I view with much concern. I have mentored many students who have booked up with an online course provider before, and unfortunately they did not know or understand that virtually all they were going to be given was a lot of PDFs or documents, maybe not even genuine, for them to read, wasting valuable time and achieving very little. Also access to a whole set of videos, once again, to work through by themselves and at their own pace. Very little support included, some webinars given on YouTube that would boost the providers' watching hours, giving them more money. Many of my students have stated they found it a total waste of time, and there is nothing on identifying what they needed and working on to improve their performance. I have looked at many of these courses being offered on YouTube for IELTS, but found none that I would recommend. These people view IELTS takers purely as a source of income, and all efforts are made to entice them to join something that really is not in the best interest of the students taking the test. So definitely not recommended. Okay, our third option, schools or colleges that offer a dedicated IELTS preparation course. This has got to be, I consider, the number one option, the very best thing you can do. There are many places in many countries that run these sort of courses, so hopefully there may be a course or a college or a school near you that you could check and maybe see how much the courses cost. I've got no idea, I can't advise you on that. But for sure, if you are part of a group working in a school or a college doing this type of course with a dedicated and experienced teacher, hey, that can only be good. I think it is essential that you're aware of the areas you need to expand and improve in your own personal ability. Then 100% of your studies are working on your improvement and not just studying aspects that really are not doing much for you or helping you at all. I think this is the very best option if it's available. If not, then maybe even the self-study, if you can be part of a self-study group, would be a good way to go. So now let us look at the last of the 4 options, and this is an area, of course, where I also specialise. The 4th and final option on how you may prepare for the IELTS test is with your very own teacher. As I have said, I have assisted hundreds of students to get the bands they were after. When a student comes to me, our first meeting is all about getting to know them and their goals and ambitions. And during my time with the students, we have regular contact to monitor their progress, and we build up a team to achieve the success. This really is a high intensity personal teacher mentor way of doing things and achieving good success. So how do we achieve this working together? Well, when we first meet, I've got to fully understand the student's ability and then be aware of their goals and their ambitions. Once I know this, then I can develop a plan to make sure that we can achieve with the time scale we have, create lesson plans to help achieve and improve the areas that need improved, give relevant home assignments to let them work on their own things like reading and listening, etc., and provide continuous assessments to make sure we are developing along in the way that we're planning. So that's how it works if you have your own personal teacher, and well, that's certainly the way that it works with me. Unfortunately, being an independent teacher, I don't have a lot of capacity, so normally I'm limiting my students to about not more than 10 at a time, and normally it's around 7 or 8 actually, but so that's the way we have it. Thank you for watching the video so far, and now I'd just like to give you a very brief summary of what we've covered and also some advice. You know, every year many thousands of students, test takers, take the IELTS test. So it's very understandable that there are many organizations and people out there that want to exploit this market and get as much revenue from the market as possible. The online courses I mentioned in this video and part in the second section, these are organizations that I've looked at in the UK and Ireland and also Australia. Maybe if you've got a long time to prepare and this is the best route for you, okay, fair enough. But really proceed with caution and think, is this what you really want? Is this what you need? There are 2 other countries actually that I have very serious concerns about. One is an organization in Singapore that I've watched their training videos and they really don't seem to even know what they're talking about. And the other area of concern, of course, one of the biggest group of IELTS takers in the world is India. And there are many, many scams and problems in India, even down to offering false IELTS certificates. Do not be led into these sort of traps. They just won't work. Everybody is aware of what's happening and you'll be caught out and maybe you wouldn't even get the certificate for the money. So be aware. There are a lot of scams, and particularly in India, and a lot of organizations that say they teach the IELTS that once again, it's very tongue-in-cheek, which we mean don't really believe them, and be careful what you're doing. When you think about it, you know, all test takers are individuals, and every individual has their own ability level and their own way of learning, etc. So the ideal learning curve for each student is one that's designed to their abilities and to their capabilities. And that is what you really need to consider about your own self. What's realistic and how's the best way to achieve it? So, once again, thank you for watching. My very best wishes, sincere best wishes to all those that got the IELTS test in front of them. Stay focused and stay dedicated, and I'm sure you will prevail. See you in my next video. Bye for now.